will be the first question.
So like always, I appreciate you guys coming out covering Penn State football. It was a great crowd. I want to thank the fans for the crowd that we got. That's going to be obviously important next week. I think right now we got 4,000 tickets left for next week's game. We need this place rocking and sold out, so I'll throw that out there. I thought overall, our starting defense played well. We gave up 3 points. Made some big plays. Offensively, we threw the ball extremely well. We were explosive. Obviously, we got to get the running game going. That's going to be something we're going to have to continue to emphasize and get better in that area. And then on special teams, I thought we were solid. I'm going to need to watch the tape in more detail, but I thought we were solid on special teams. I think the other thing is, I was pretty aggressive on the headset with the staff of getting those guys in the game. I thought the reps that we got were awesome, and they're going to be really, really valuable long term. But those guys, when they go in, they have to live up to the standard, and we did not do that today with our depth guys, with our backup guys. So that'll be something that is something that we addressed in the locker room. That'll be something we'll address during the week. But we are 1-0, and we continue to build this thing and look forward to next week's opportunity.
Greg Pickle, the new bias Wilborn.
Coach, how would you assess your team here now that you've been through the first 4 weeks of the season, and what did you learn about it today?
Yeah, I got to give Villanova credit, which I didn't do that to start like I normally do. I got to give them credit. I thought the moment was not too big for them. I thought they executed a smart plan on offense. They were going to run quick game, screen, sprint out, mix a little bit of run in there to keep you honest. But I thought their plan was good. I think for us, we took a step. I feel like our guys a little bit were enjoying people patting them on the back. We talked about it all week long, and I don't know if we had the same edge today that we've had the previous 3 weeks, but we found a way to get a win. There'll be a lot to learn from this. There'll be a lot to grow from this, and we'll go from there. But we have found 4 different ways to get wins, and we're going to need to learn from that and grow and take another step this week.
New bias Wilborn, then Rich Scarcella.
James, you mentioned not having the edge that you wanted, as well as kind of correcting our run game. What can you do to correct both those things going forward?
Well, again, it's one of those deals you talk about till you're blue in the face. You show examples. We have had to have setbacks in the past to really grow and learn. We shouldn't have to do that. So we'll emphasize that point as strong as you possibly can. We'll have pretty aggressive meetings tomorrow, going through these things. What I never want to do is go into a locker room after a win and it doesn't feel like a win. I think you have to be very careful of that as a coach. And then in the running game, we just got to emphasize it more. So what I mean by that is, if we say we're throwing the ball 40% of the time in practice, probably need to throw it 50% of the time or 60% of the time in practice. There's a number of factors that go into that, but we need to be more detail oriented. We need to be more physical. The touchdown we scored down here against Auburn. You look at Rashid. He collapsed the side of the line, and we got to do those types of things more consistently.
Rich Scarcella, then Mark Brennan.
James, where would you like to see the running game right now? And to follow up, was Noah Cain's absence after the early part of the game a coach's decision or something else?
Yeah, so with Noah got dinged up a little bit last week and didn't practice as much this week as we wanted to. So we plan to go a 1-to-1-to-1 rotation with those 3 guys. We had been going like 2-to-1, but so it was a combination of the rotation. It was a combination of him not practicing much this week. So I guess you'd call that a coaching decision kind of coming into it. And there was other.
Where would you like to see the running game?
I'd like to see us leading the nation in rushing. That's what
You're
I'd
a
like
long
to
way
see.
to go.
Yeah, I agree with you.
James,
Mark Brennan, and then Neil Rudell.
kind of following up on that, can you speak to the level that Sean Clifford's playing at? And is there a balancing act when your quarterback's playing that well and the passing game's working that well and you're trying to get the running game going? You following what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think to your point is you have to play to your strengths, but you have to recognize your weaknesses and you have to work on them. And there's that balance. You know, what we don't want to do is obviously abort the passing game, especially with the weapons that we have right now, and go all run game, because then you won't be where you want. So we just have to gradually take steps in the run game, continuing to get better in the passing game, which I still think there's a lot of areas for improvement there as well. But it's not like, to your point, it's not like we're going to come in next week and rush for 400 yards. We just have to get better and continue to emphasize it and work it in.
Neil Rudel and Dave Jones.
James, some of that between the tackles, and how do you deal with that at practice while still not wanting to get too many people hurt? Is that part of what goes into establishing a better run game?
No, I mean, we've done it the same way. Everywhere I've ever been, you gotta run the ball between the tackles and be physical. You gotta run the ball in the perimeter. I think we've done a better job of mixing the outside zone in. That has helped us. We've usually been a pretty good gap scheme team. We're not doing that right now. I didn't think we played as well at the tight end position, especially in the running game, as we have in the past. But no, I mean, we'll practice the way we always practice. Tuesday and Wednesday will be physical days. They'll be physical days, and they need to be heavy emphasis on running the ball.
Dave Jones, then Mike Gross.
You had a meat grinder last week. You might have another one next week. The offensive line you mentioned, do you believe in mental health days, or are you going to go at them just like this was a big game? I mean, we all know it wasn't the same as Auburn or Indiana. Go ahead.
This was a big game. I can tell you right now, if we're not 1-0 today, it would have been a real big game.
But you are.
It would have been a real big game. No, I don't. That phrase you used last week, it was what was it with something about rep count? What was it last week?
I think it was
Load management.
That was a week before.
And then 2 weeks ago, and then this week I'm not even gonna say it. And I got a psychology degree from the Harvard of the PSAC, East Stroudsburg. I don't believe in what you said. Hopefully the mics aren't strong enough to pick it up. But no, we are gonna coach hard on Sunday. The meetings will be hard on Sunday. To me, if we have the team that I think we do, they want that. They want us to coach them hard and make the corrections. Again, I don't want to do it after a win, but there's things that we got to get fixed and get fixed quick. We got a really good football team coming in this week, and we got to find a way to get better in the areas that we're weak right now, and that's on offense, defense, and special teams. Because I think, to your point, another point that people are making is you can't be one-dimensional. You can't sustain it being one-dimensional. You got to be able to run. There's going to be times where we're going to have to run the ball out on offense, and a 4-minute offense is going to magnify those issues. So we got to find a way to improve in these areas because we can't be so one-dimensional.
Mike Gross, then Andrew Clay.
Hi, James. With so much attention to Jahan, understandably, Parker Washington maybe underrated a little bit. I mean, another huge game today. Whiteout, so pretty good. I know that's not a question, but
I think you guys know how we feel about Parker. You guys saw flashes of it last year. I think we got to get Keandre more involved. He obviously showed what he can do when he gets opportunities. He's got to take advantage of them. But I think it becomes even more difficult to stop for people now when they're focused on Jahan Dotson. And to your point, then all of a sudden Parker has a huge game. And then if we can get Keandre going, now it's like, what do you do? If you put an emphasis on stopping Jahan Dotson, and then the other two guys go for over 100 yards on you, that makes you really difficult to stop on offense. Now, if we can be a little bit more effective in the running game, then we can give some people challenges kind of throughout this season. There's going to be games where the defense's weakness is stopping the run. We got to be able to capitalize on that. I wouldn't say we'd be able to do that right now. So the one thing I would say, that probably isn't being talked about a whole lot, if people are going to outnumber you in the box, we've had a lot of success throwing the perimeter screens. That's really an extension of the running game. And if they're just going to keep putting more people into the box, it doesn't make a whole.
It seemed like there was less of that today. Wide receiver screen and stuff.
I didn't think so.
Okay.
I didn't think so. I thought we got the ball in the perimeter a decent amount, but I could be wrong. But I think that's an extension of the running game as well if people are going to defend you that way.
Andrew Clay, then Ali Barubi.
Hey, Coach, over here. I want to ask about the explosive plays that you guys had. How much do you think that was a matter of player versus player or something you guys really schematic?
Well, to be honest with you, our explosive play percentage, I think, was about 12%, which is about what it's been. So to me, the point about player to player, I think it's a combination like it is every week. Scheme, players' strengths and players' athleticism. But that's about how we've been this season. Wisconsin, I think we were just about that. Auburn, we were just about that. Ball State, we were just about that. So that's about where we've been. We want to be 16%. So I think we can be better there. But that's been obviously a big part of our success so far.
Allie Berube, and then Max Ralph will have our last question.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, I was looking for you.
Yeah, down here. As the wins start to stack up, do you find your players becoming complacent, or do you have to kind of keep that underdog mentality? How do you look at that as you continue to have success down the stretch?
I thought today was a little bit of an issue, and when I say today, I mean this week. We did not practice the way I think we should practice on Wednesday. We've had very little of that since I've been here. The other thing I would say is we haven't really had a lot of that during camp. We haven't. But I thought Wednesday we did not have a good practice. So I think they're getting patted on the back. I think they're reading articles, and we'll make sure that there's no leftovers of that come Sunday. I'll make sure that we clear all those things out of the fridge.
Last question to Max Ralph.
James, obviously we didn't see him in weeks 1 and 2, but John Lovett kind of served as a unique guy today with Noah Kane not handling as much. What have you seen from him in these past 2 weeks, being back with the team and then showing up today?
Yeah, he's been with the team from the beginning. Sometimes you guys make little statements that I don't necessarily agree with, but he's been with the team the whole time. But yeah, he has some quickness. He's got some speed. He's an experienced ball player. He also shows up in the passing game as well. He's got really good hands and ball skills and body control. So we're going to need that to continue to grow, really, with all those guys. Obviously we got 2 of the other guys in late in the game, and they both put the ball on the ground. So that is obviously something that we're going to continue to emphasize. But John brings an aspect that we're going to need. We're going to need to get that whole group going because I think they're very talented and very capable. But we need to be better at the running back position, the O-line position, and I thought today, specifically in the running game, the tight end position.
Thank you, Coach.